Can you tell us which one was your favorite tea among the different kind of teas you tasted?
Winter ruby.
Winter tea. So why any particular reason you liked it so much?
Just had more flavour. Because I normally drink tea with milk. Don't experience it without milk, and I didn't realise it wasn't really that you should have tea without milk because there's more taste in it. To me, it's always just been a standard hot drink.
Okay. So when you drink tea with milk, do you find any flavour in it?
To be honest with you, not a lot. It's just sort of pleasant. I mean, I no longer have it with sugar. I can't drink it with sugar now. But it's just a standard hot drink. I have.
So you get the same satisfaction without drinking it without milk? I mean, how would you compare?
It's more tasty without the milk.
It's more tasty.
It's more original. It's the way you should have it.
So anything in particular you learned in the tea tour that you would like to highlight, share with our online consumers?
Just things like the difference between white tea and black tea. I used to think that black tea was just tea without milk, and it's not. Just simple things like that. It shows how much I don't know about tea.
So would you recommend people to go on tea tour?
Oh yes, definitely. It's part of the India experience. Definitely. You can't really come here without learning something about tea making.
That's great to know. It's wonderful to know you had such a good time. We are very, very grateful that you took the opportunity and the chance and the time out to visit us. Thank you.
It was great.
Hope you come back.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, Mr. AJ. How are you?
I'm very good.
How was your DHR trip?
My tea trip was fantastic. It was very enlightening, and your enthusiasm for your tea production was it enthused us as a group. And I think in England we generally have. In England we pride ourselves on being tea drinkers, but we put our tea bags in our tea. We squeeze the most out of it to make it strong, and then we put milk in it to take the sourness out of the tea. So our tea making is completely wrong. But whenever anything goes wrong in England, it's have a cup of tea. Everything will be fine. But there's a more delicate aspect to it, which having a Darjeeling tea and not infusing it too much, and infusing the flavour without putting milk and sugar in, and you can appreciate the flavours. And your input was very encouraging.
So regularly do you have tea with milk back home?
Back home, yes. Traditionally for myself, no. I can drink black tea, but I learned to just, with the tea bag that we have, is just go out. And you make a weak black tea, and you can get flavours. But to have somebody who knows more about the process, and to learn about the process, and to infuse those flavours was really, really nice. We're here to see the Darjeeling Himalaya Railway. Everybody in England knows about Darjeeling tea and Assam tea, so but without really knowing about it. And so to come here and know something true about Darjeeling, how it should be drunk, was nice. And we've been drinking black Darjeeling tea since we've been here.
So which is your favorite among you must have had a white tea, an oolong, a green, a black. Anything you can recall that stuck with you, that stayed with you?
I did, and like Martin, I didn't know the difference between a black tea and a white tea. I've had green teas. I've had green teas in Morocco that are infused with other spices and sugars and so on. And we have green teas at home. But white tea was new to me. It's very delicate. But I did like the Thunder is it
Mystique.
Mystique. That particularly took my taste buds. That's the one. So that's the one that we're taking home.
So would you recommend tea tour? I mean, is it worth the time? Is it worth the experience?
I would say so, because we're stigmatised in England as to what tea is. We call it builder's tea.
Yeah.
If you have tea, let's have a builder's tea.
Yorkshire tea.
Yorkshire tea. Mash it up, put milk, put sugar in. Yeah. So, but no, it's a much more delicate experience, and I would recommend the tea tour to educate people.
So what? Why do you drink tea? I mean, what makes you pick up a cup of tea?
Calm. Calm.
That's the word you have.
Calm.
So any message you have for our online consumers? Anything you would like to share? Anything you would like to give them a message?
I would share about coming out and having a calm drink of tea. Just be at peace with your tea.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time and your appreciation. Very kind words. We are very grateful.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
Morning.
Oh, Morna, having visited your plantation and your enthusiasm for what you do is absolutely breathtaking. And then to sort of take that enthusiasm and drink the tea that you produced when we were having a tasting. And I kind of put that enthusiasm into my tasting of your tea. And I did get a different experience about it. As Adrian said, in England, builder's tea, just drink it, quench the thirst, get on with your day. But actually, it's a much more delicate experience than that. And so I was really pleased to experience that. And I think we should take that back home and make sure that when we now make a cup of tea for people, we should make it and maybe just explain how you've explained what the experience should be, the taste should be, so thank you for that. I hadn't really thought about that at all. I'm 55 years old and I've been drinking tea for all those years without that sort of experience, so thank you very much. Thank you.
So I take it that it was your first visit to a tea plantation.
Absolutely,
Your
yeah.
first visit to
Yeah.
Darjeeling Tea Estate,
Yeah.
Darjeeling.
Absolutely, yeah.
So which is your favorite tea? I mean, what
Well,
kind of
it's-
tea you have at home?
Well, at home, my ignorance, I don't even know what tea is in the tea bag. Or a Samson. Or what tea only recently I've been drinking flavoured teas, and we had that conversation while we were with you. And that so I've sort of branched out of it from just your regular kind of breakfast tea or all day tea. But I know that now I'll be thinking a little bit more about what's going to sort of, it's a mood changer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tea. It
definitely.
can change your mood,
Yes.
So,
it has a calming and relaxing
yeah.
effect. And
So-
that's documented.
yeah. So I'll think about what I'm going to have in the morning and whether that's going to sort of power me up for the day, or I'll think about at midday I need to relax a little bit, or I'll think about what I'm going to have, to drink a cup of tea before I go to bed. So there's just all the different aspects. So, and you kind of heighten those aspects to us. So thank you very much.
So next time you visit your store or from where you purchase it, whatever place, will you keep it in mind that
Absolutely.
is that tea is suitable with milk, without milk?
Oh yeah, totally. So we have had. I was kind of already doing this a couple of years ago, I guess 2-3 years ago, when I started drinking a lot of green tea. We have various health food shops. Some are good health food shops. Some, less. What's the word? Well, they're not as good as some. So there are some good health food shops that really do good loose leaf tea, and I started buying more loose leaf tea. I started buying more flavoured tea, infused tea, I would say. So, yeah, so I've done a lot more of that. So tea without milk. I mean, I must admit, we stayed recently in Darjeeling, as you know, and we were up at the Windermere, and I had a cover-us one, and there was a little sachet of milk. I couldn't help but put it in. You know, old habits die hard.
Yes,
And I think
I
I
agree.
said when we visited, it will probably take 2 generations at least to break out of the habit of just thinking about tea being, PG tips or Yorkshire tea or something.
Yeah.
I think you've got to, it's been so ingrained for so many years. It's going to take probably those same years again, or half of those years again, to move people away from that kind of learned behaviour about tea.
Yes, I agree with that. It's not easy. I mean, to
No.
break a trend, to break a market setup,
Yeah.
takes a lot of time. There are a lot of people involved. There's a supply chain.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody cannot just. So, do you think single state teas make sense? When somebody says which tea, which state, which region, do you think that has a bearing in your mind?
I'm
Will
not
you think about all these questions ever? I mean,
going forward, yes. Going
so
forward, yes.
anyone can answer.
It does to me. If we take Scotch single malt whiskies, which our country is more in tune with the individual tastes and the individual infusions that the distillation of the water, filtration of the water has gone through to create that taste. That doesn't really relate to tea in our country, and as I say, they just want this billed as tea. But I think if we marketed it from a sense of mindfulness and well-being, this tea is good for your mind, good for your body, then I think there would be a good uptake, because people are much more in tune, are starting to get in tune with their mindfulness and their body, rather than PG tips, Yorkshire tea. Oh, Darjeeling. Oh, I feel good. Yeah, this is good. I'm now going to go and practice my yoga.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, geez.
so that's a marketing sort of strategy, possibly. I don't know.
So do you have any message for us? I mean, something that you would like to tell us? Like, what could we do?
Educate to whom you export. Educate them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because, as I say, we just sort of take it. Tea.
Tea, put tea bag in,
Boil the kettle.
squelch it out, put the milk in, put the sugar in. Oh, a nice cup of tea. Drink tea, keep calm. Everything's going to be fine.
For instance, we had a situation up at Darjeeling, up at the hotel we stayed in, and we had some coffee in the morning. And they had a little, and the coffee was very good. And they had a note about where the coffee came from. I don't know how when you sell your product, but that note should be out there to those that you're selling it to. This is where this tea comes from.
Yeah, we
This is
send with every packet we send information out
Yeah,
as
yeah,
to
yeah,
where it
yeah.
is grown and what are the practices we follow.
Yeah. But it's so so people get the kind of the root of it. They get the way it's travelled from Darjeeling to their cup.
And this is another thing. People are very more in tune with carbon footprint and local economies, and the local economy that the industry helps. So there is in England, I feel there is more people wanting to buy local. Obviously, with tea, we don't produce tea in England, so there's got to be an acceptance that you have to export tea. So there's a carbon footprint in getting the tea to England, but I think knowing where it's from
Yeah.
and how it's produced, and knowing who's involved with it, the people, it just makes it a community experience, a personal experience.
Yeah. So when you were giving when we had our tasting at your estate, and you were so enthusiastic, and we had all those cups lined up, and you explained each one, and it made it a much more sort of. It wasn't just, oh, here's a cup of tea, try that. It was like, this is how passionate I've been about blending this and making this cup of tea and making this tea, you know, the taste that you are going to enjoy, you know. So it was a really good experience, and I think that's probably more that we would need to take the message home. If we were going to take a message home about tea, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's not just, as you say, builder's tea, there is experience.
Yeah, very true. I mean, tea itself is huge. I mean, there are many things you can do with it. You can play around with oxidation and styles, and there are different things you can do. So tea is not boring at all. I mean,
No,
you can
far from it.
yeah, it's very interesting, and it reacts to everything. It reacts differently to sunlight. It reacts differently to drying temperature.
Yeah.
It reacts different to different kinds of oxidation. You can do white, oolong, green, black. Even in oolong, there's a huge range starting from 10 to 90% of oxidation. So tea itself allows you to play a lot. So I think that message has to go across that there is not anything called tea. There are different types of tea and different price levels, and depending on the kind of budget you have and how much you like to enjoy it. So tea is huge.
Well, let's put it. I think England is very much. I don't know how much time yet. But England's very much a wine drinking country now.
Yes.
In our supermarkets, which is our shops that sell all our goods, people will. We have wines from all around the world. People will buy wines that they like, that they think they like. You know, there's little notes about what tones and things they're going to get through. And I think in England, people are more in tune with that. So they're very in tune with buying wine. They'll have a glass of wine without probably knowing too much about wine, too much about wine production, or even how actually what they're drinking or tasting. But where am I going with this? But I think that could be transposed to tea.
Yeah, tea is very similar to wine.
But we don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know.
And which is a shame. And it's a shame for the wine industry because people are gladly drinking wine and thinking they know what they're drinking, but they don't. And Morna's probably bored of me saying this, but we had a food and drink program in our country, and
I'll just anyway, thank you.
And a famous wine drinker was saying, "Oh, I'm getting hints of this, and I'm getting this from this. The bouquet is this." And she was talking to a rugby player, you know, Birdie, and she said, "And what are you getting from this?" "Grapes."
Yeah, I mean,
and you can overdo it, but it's
it has to be practical.
It has to be practical.
But I think at the end of the day, when you have different kinds of tea, don't you feel? I mean, that the difference is apparent when you drink a white or a black or a green. Can't you tell that I'm having something which is more like green tea or a high quality black tea or a well made white tea? Do you think that simplicity in the cup, did it come across easily to you?
I do, because I drink black tea. I have drunk black tea. I would think to majority of tea drinkers in England, they would probably be a little bit lost.
Okay.
So that is your battle. That is your mission.
That is our battle.
That's your mission.
Okay. Nice talking to you, Adrian. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and for your passion. You've been extremely kind.
And for your passion. Thank you for having us to your tea plantation.
We are very grateful that you came.
It was lovely. It was really nice.